What is up, y'all? In this video, I'm going to be talking about each Joe and Jojo in each part. Now, this is different from best Joe Bro because when I was ranking the best Joe Bros or their drips or whatever, I was only talking about them specifically. I don't think I made a best Joe Bro ranking because I'm gonna save all like the ranking best JoJos and Joe Bros for when I finish part 8. So yeah, and I stopped. I don't know what happens in part 9, but I barely know Dragona, whatever their name is, or his or her, whatever. I know it's a dude who's like a girl, but I don't know what she is. I don't know what she prefers or he prefers to be called. I don't know. I ain't getting into that right now. I didn't care anymore.
Then something just snapped. Something inside of me. I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about being better than Kakarot. I didn't care about being a Super Saiyan. I didn't care if I lived. I didn't care about anything. And then it happened.
I'm just joking. I was just playing. But yeah, we'll just start with part 1 and the duo for part 1. Now, Phantom Blood. It's definitely either. Obviously, it's Jonathan Joestar, and it's either Speedwagon or Zeppeli. And I know a lot of people like say Speedwagon is just amazing. I love Speedwagon. You know, Speedwagon is cool. My boy Robert, but I don't know if he's the Joe Bro. Like, you could maybe consider him, but I feel like he doesn't do as much as Zeppeli. Yes, he cares about Jonathan a lot, and Jonathan cares about him a lot, but the duo, like, I don't know if they're the duo. I'd say, like, Zeppeli is more a duo. Because he trained him, you know, he did more with him, so I'd say that he's more duo. Because Speedwagon's not only just in this part, he's in, like, different parts. Like, he's in part 2, you know, the Speedwagon Foundation carries on for a while, so it's just, like, I wouldn't say he's the Joe Bro per se. So I'm gonna give it to not Speedwagon, to Zeppeli for the Joe Bro like duo. And together, Jonathan and Zeppeli they're cool. They're cool together. They had like some pretty cool moments, and we actually see Zeppeli training Jonathan somewhat, unlike some of the other JoJos later on. Like Jotaro, never seen that dude train a day in his life. Josuke, never seen a dude train in his life. But again, we meet him when he already has his stand. Like, we don't see him first. It's just like, you know, it's just whatever. Jonathan and Zeppeli did train. They did train a lot, and they had like a student-teacher relationship, but also they felt close to each other, you know. I remember Zeppeli saying that when he was dying, you know, and he also sacrificed himself, you know, the Zeppeli way. You have to sacrifice yourself for your JoJo. So I don't know, like they're definitely a cool duo, but out of 10, I would say this duo is like a 7 out of 10. Because one, we don't see too much of them together because Zeppeli dies fairly early, and he's not even there at the very beginning with Jonathan, so it's just like whatever, I guess, you know. So that's alright, that's a word. 7 out of 10 for those two. After that is Caesar and Joseph. Caesar and Joseph, a lot of people regard them as like one of the best duos in JoJo, period, and I definitely agree with that. They are amazing. I think they bounce off each other in a cool and dynamic way. They both kind of like, they kind of hate each other a little bit, but they also love each other in a weird way. Kind of like the Josuke and Okuyasu, they do with Shigeshi. But I think they do like each other, and I think they both work together well as a duo. Because they're interesting to see, you know, they don't just get along instantly, kind of like Jonathan and Zeppeli, where they're just like, they're a little like weary, but like after that they're just like, alright, we gotta get shit done and put that shit aside. You know, we're gentlemen, we can't do that. But with Caesar and Joseph, I think, for one, I just like Joseph a little more than Jonathan. That's not nothing against Jonathan, but like Joseph is cooler to me. He's a little more interesting to watch. Caesar's kind of cool, but I think a lot of people kind of remember him more for his death than his actual time in the show, but the Fiti Buble, I feel like Caesar did have a cool like dynamic with Jojo, and they were both really cool. I would give this duo, like a 9 out of 10, a 9 out of 10, because I think these two are like amazing. They are like definitely, when I think of JoJo duos, they definitely come to mind, for me at least. After part 2, part 3, so the duo for this one, this can be a lot, like I guess Joseph and Jotaro, but I don't see the granddad being the Joe bro, you know. I think they're close, but I don't know about he's the Joe bro duo. Polnareff, I think Polnareff was probably my favorite Stardust Crusader, but I don't think he was the Joe bro, even though Jotaro and him did have some really cool moments. I think it's Kakyoin, just gonna say that. I don't think it's Abdul, I think it's Kakyoin, not you either, Iggy. I think Kakyoin was definitely the Joe bro for Jotaro, and their duo was okay. We didn't see too many times of them working together. I love Kakyoin as a character. I think he is an amazing character. I think he definitely is hated on a bit too much. Because every time I see people like, oh fuck that bastard, like I'm like, damn, you know, like I think he was a really good character. I've seen a lot of videos talking about him and going in depth about his relationship and kind of just him as a character in general. I saw this one video with Caleb IA. He did a really good video on Kakyoin. Just gonna point that one out. So W for him, and how he just talks about him, and I just like that video a lot. I've mentioned this video like twice before because I think that video was just a really cool video that he made. But yeah, but I don't know if they have like a great relationship together. I think they kind of, we just don't see too much. We see Jotaro praise him for when he does good, but we never really see them just like kind of bond too much, you know. That's not to say Jotaro is a bad character or Kakyoin's a bad character, just in my personal opinion, I don't see them as a great duo. Like, don't get me wrong, they look badass together, you know, they definitely do. And I think their stands complement each other, and even their personalities do, but I don't know if just I've seen enough. I need to see more of them is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I probably give these two like a 6 out of 10. Kakyoin and Jotaro 6 out of 10. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna give them. After part 3, part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, which is with Josuke and Okuyasu. Obviously, Okuyasu's the duo. I mean, you could argue maybe Koichi, but I'm gonna go with Okuyasu because come on now, bruh. Come on now. No, let's not get into that right now, but it's definitely Okuyasu and Jotaro. Okay, for one, I think out of most of the duos that we've talked about so far, these two bonded quite a bit. Not even gonna lie, I think these two bonded a lot over the course of part 4. Because we see them walking to school together, we see them like, just like doing a bunch of shit together, you know. We even see like them go to like a restaurant and eat, like that like episode where they like ate, you know, that was so goofy. It was like kind of I don't know if it's a filler episode. Because truly it has nothing to do with it, but it's whatever. I still enjoyed that one, but we see them a lot, man. And every time we see Josuke, like almost damn near every time we see Okuyasu, but there's definitely some points where Okuyasu is just nowhere to be seen, and that makes sense. He's, you know, that's obviously not every time we're gonna see them, like, because they're not training together intensely like Joseph and Caesar or Zappelli and Jonathan, you know, because they're teenagers. They got school, they got to do stuff. So I do think they have a really good connection and bond, and I think their chemistry is really good. But it's just like, I wouldn't say they're like a 9 or 10. I'm gonna give them like an 8, maybe 8.5, because I feel like yes, they're a cool duo, but I don't think they work together that well in terms of fighting. You know, they definitely are cool. Like with Josuke, I feel like Josuke is really good with helping other people because of his ability, but Okuyasu, I've seen them maybe work together a couple times really well, but other than that, it's not too crazy with these two, you know. Probably 8.5 out of 10 for Okuyasu and Josuke. But after this, part 5, this, like, Giorno can have so many Joe Bros for this part. Like, I don't think it's Narancia. I don't think it's him. I don't think it's Trish. I don't think it's Abakio. I don't think it's Fugo. It's definitely either Bucciarati or Mista. And this is a hard pick. This is a really hard pick. I think most of the time I go with Bucciarati because Bucciarati and him met each other first. They stay together really long, and I feel like Bucciarati and Giorno work. Like, I'm not saying, like, Mista could really be, like, to be fair, I think you can interchange these two Joe Bros for this part for Giorno. Because one Mista lives afterwards as well and stays with him really long, and Mista and Giorno have countless amounts of moments of helping each other. Maybe a little more than Bucciarati and Giorno do, but I still would say Bucciarati's the Joe Bro of this part, just because I feel like, I mean, really you can interchange him, but I'm just going to go with Bucciarati. Actually, I'll just rank them both. Now, Bucciarati and Giorno, I'd say that duo is like a 7 out of 10. As characters alone, like Bucciarati and Giorno as characters solo, I think Giorno's an amazing character. I made a video on that guy. He was one of my first JoJo videos because I love Giorno as a character. And Bucciarati, he is probably one of my favorite characters in that part as well, because that's the boy, you know, that's the man Bucciarati. I love Bucciarati as well. And Mista, I do love him as well, but as a duo for Bucciarati and Giorno, I think they're just a 7 out of 10. But Mista and Giorno, I feel like they have a little more moments, to be fair, and even though Bucciarati and Giorno may like have really cool points where they're just like genuinely talking to each other about what they want to do and their goals and stuff and their dreams or whatever, and how Bucciarati sees Giorno and how Giorno sees Bucciarati, I think Mista and Giorno's like their thing they got going on is, I think, maybe an 8 out of 10 compared to Bucciarati and Giorno's 7 out of 10, because we see so many moments with Mista and Giorno, so many, even funny moments where he was giving him the golden suck, you know. I feel like they just have a better just like bro chemistry than Bucciarati and Giorno, but truly you can interchange them. I'll give Bucciarati and Giorno a 7 out of 10, Mista and Giorno an 8 out of 10. After part 5 is part 6, Hermes and Jolene. I feel like Hermes and Jolene are barely talked about. Barely, you know. Every time people talk about part 6, it's usually about Pucci and Dio's relationship, and that's fair because I talk about that relationship a little more than Jolene and Hermes, because for one, I already made a video on it, and two, I think that relationship's a little just like so interesting. It's just a very interesting relationship, but that's not to say Hermes and Jolene don't have cool chemistry and work together. I think I know a lot of people complain about, oh, Hermes was gone for a bit. So was Coculine, so was other Joe Bros, and I don't think it hinders their relationship and bond as much as people think it does, you know. I'm not trying to be like, oh, nerd emoji, literally, like, I know what you don't know, like, just in my personal opinion, I think it doesn't affect the relationship as much. I think if anything, it strengthens it, because one, that fight Hermes had that put her injured was a W, and even Jolene recognized how cool Hermes was being in that moment, and they even have funny moments. Well, the first time they see each other, it's a goofy, funny moment that they can bond over, and Hermes even helps teach Jolene about jail and prison and how to get by and stuff like that. I think it is cool. You can argue Foo Fighters, but I'm definitely going with Hermes as the duo, and this duo to me is an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's 7, I think that's too low, and I don't think it's 9 because that's a little too high, but 8 out of 10 for Hermes and Jolene, easily. After part 6 is part 7, Johnny and Gyro. Johnny and Gyro's relationship, and this duo, I'm just going to say it right now, this is my favorite duo in all of JoJo. Just by far. Just what I've seen, by far, this is my favorite duo in JoJo. I love Johnny and Gyro as a duo. They have so many times where they bond. They have so many, and this is not even me deriding part 7. I just love this duo a lot. Truly. You know, even though Gyro can kind of be a dick sometimes, and even though Johnny can be a little too logical sometimes, I feel like just what they do for each other and how they complement each other. There's so many moments where even Johnny puts aside what he wants for Gyro, just like Gyro does for Johnny, but they still, because at first it's not just like they're buddy-buddy instantly, you know? They still are like a little weary of each other. And it slowly grows, and even towards the end, especially the ending where it's just like, Johnny's staring up at the sky and it's just like, bruh, like, it's so, I just love this duo so much. Like, I love it a lot. Like, because I feel like they also do complement each other in a cool way, and they even talk about really weird stuff like fetishes and stuff. But right before they go into some crazy ass shit, they're just bonding with each other, genuinely talking about secrets and shit like that. I loved seeing that. I think that was a really cool thing that they did together, and I'd say, like, out of all the duos, this is my favorite. I'm gonna give this duo a 10 out of 10. You can call me biased, you can call me, oh, you're just a part 7 elitist bastard, and I'm just like, you can call me whatever you want, I don't care, because these two are just my favorite. I will always love these two, and I really hope the anime adaptation does a really good job with these two, and portraying them in a good way. I don't doubt they will. I just hope they don't do batches again. I don't know if Netflix is doing another thing again, but I just hope they don't do batches and do a weekly thing. I think that would build up hype a little more, but it's whatever, because I know damn well I'd, you know, fucking, like, as soon as each batch came through, watched it instantly. Even at school, I was watching it instantly, just like, oh, whatever, like, I'm watching all of it in like 1 or 2 days, so that's whatever. That's besides the point. Gyro and Johnny, 10 out of 10. And after this is part 8, and tell me down below who y'all think are the duo for part 8. I would say, like, a lot of people, I don't think it's, I remember saying it was Joshu last time. It's not Joshu. I'd say it's like maybe Yashu. That's my guess, but tell me what you guys think down below. And part 9, can't say with part 9, I can't even judge. Also, give me what you guys think, what the rating out of 10 is for part 8 and the Jojo relationship. And for part 9, I don't think I can say for sure anything about those two. So that's gonna be for this video, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace. Oh, almost forgot. Happy Easter. If you guys are celebrating Easter, happy Easter. Literally just forgot. I was like, oh, I just forgot. Yeah, just y'all have a good one, alright? Peace. Devil holding me back with chains. God knows when